Hey guys, welcome to the Touchdown Table. I'm Ryan, that's Tyler, that's Jordan. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the NFC Playoff races, a lot of key division races. We got one really good division, we got one really bad division. We've got a pretty intense wild card race. Remember this year, new format, 3 wild card teams. There is a 7 seed, so lots of fun playoff races are going to be happening down the stretch. Lots of meaningful football still must be played for a lot of teams. So we're going to break down the NFC playoff picture and just, talk about the intense races that are coming up and kind of try and guess what's going to happen because there's still a lot left and a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, there sure is. It's going to be fun in both the AFC and the NFC this year. And we'll go through it one by one and talk about teams that are in the hunt in a second. But right now, it seems like the top dog out of all the divisions and even wild card people right now, or teams right now, is New Orleans Saints. 7 in a row. They're at 8-2 now. So 7 of their 8 wins have been in a row. Very impressive from them. So I think we should start at the top and talk about them. Then we'll talk about the rest of the division winners.
Yeah, top dog. I see what you did there. Yeah. You should have loved it. We're talking about the Saints. I think that's a good place to start. Very important to mention Ryan in the New Orleans Saints. As Ryan always says, they start out with a rough start, but they always drop 2 games early. That's so good. They're really rolling right now. Even with Taysom Hill at the helm, they're playing very, very great. They looks like Michael Thomas will be back. That'll be a plus. Hopefully, Daniel Sanders can stay healthy as well. This offense playing really good. We expected them to play good, but something with the Saints team that has really been phenomenal is that defense. They really step up because this team has always been Drew Brees' offense. And there were some seasons where defense was really good. Some seasons where they were just doing enough to keep them in games, win them games. But right now, this defense, it's rivaling how good this offense is right now, especially in that last game we saw against the Falcons. They played extremely well. So I'm really excited for the Saints team. I really like them to play against the Lions too. Yeah, lots of like from them, and I know there's concern about the injury to Drew Brees. How much time will he miss? When will he be back? Will he be 100% when he gets back? But let's remember, a similar situation happened last year, and Drew Brees got hurt, and everyone was saying, "Oh no, are they going to be able to get a good playoff position? They'll be able to win games without him." And they did very well without him. And you look at the Saints' upcoming schedule; they just played very well against Atlanta with Taysom Hill. Their next 3 games are against Denver, Atlanta again, and Philadelphia. All 3 of those teams have losing records right now. So, Breeze or not, I think those 3 games are very winnable, and I think they very well could win all those games. So the Saints are sitting pretty right now. They are 8-2. And as far as their division is concerned, Tampa Bay is now 7-4, and they've already beaten Tampa twice. So they're sitting pretty there. So they control their own destiny, and they got a great shot at getting this 1 first-round bye with the new format.
Yeah, let's throw in the other division winners because obviously they get credit for being the lead in their division right now, and one team shouldn't really get credit, but the other ones will. Those 2 teams, let's talk about first. The Rams, after getting their win on Monday Night Football against the Buccaneers, are in first place, and the Packers, both teams at 7-3. So which one do you guys want to talk about first?
Some of the Rams. Oh, we agree. Cool. All right, sounds good. I want to start with the Rams because I've been really been a fan of their play. Getting a win on Monday night against the Buccaneers, that was a good win. And you might be thinking to yourself, okay, the Cardinals and the Seahawks are better than the Rams team. Well, this Rams team beat the Seahawks, and did they beat the Cardinals? I don't remember. They still have to play Arizona twice, so they've got 2 matchups there. Yeah, they still have to play them twice. But they have a good shot at doing them as well. This offense is playing very well. Goff played a very nice game. We see the Rodgers duo in Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp playing out. Me and Ryan was happy about that. We've got Robert Woods on his fantasy team who scored last night for us. In this defense, we know it's going to be good. Jalen Ramsey playing very well. Of course, Aaron Donald throwing his name in there for defensive player of the year again, of course. So this team is kind of underrated right now, and that's because they're in a good division with Kyler Murray and with Russell Wilson. But don't look them over. We're leading this division right now. We'll see how it plays out in the end. But they beat the Seahawks. They've got to beat the Cardinals. They're really playing some good football.
Yeah, Ryan, it looks like you were a year off on this team. You said they were going to...
I cannot believe this happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, they better not win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Ryan predicted them to win the Super Bowl last year. They didn't make the playoffs, and now they're in second place in their conference, I believe. So.
You wrote a whole essay about it.
Yeah, he
I
did.
did. I think I still have that. But at least my Super Bowl pick this year is probably going to make the playoffs, so I can feel better about that.
There you go. It's okay. Both of mine didn't make the playoffs last year. But let's talk about the Packers now, because I mean they're a team that has been really good as well. At times we've seen them struggle. They had their games where it hasn't been great. Against Tampa, we saw it last week. Against the Colts, I mean they played all right, but sometimes they just can't get the job done because of defense. And then they had too many turnovers. That's usually not a problem with the Packers, but it can't be a problem, or else this team is not going to win games. I still like this team to win this division. I have since the beginning of the season. So much talent. Aaron Rodgers, possibly the best quarterback in the NFL right now, could win the MVP. A lot to like there. Just once again, defensively, they got to be more careful and got to stop the fumble.
Yes.
You said it. Aaron Rodgers is a phenomenal quarterback, but there's going to come a point where he can't continue to lead your team. The victories we talked about a lot earlier with the Seahawks, when we saw that the defenses. And the Packers defense, I don't think they're as bad, but they're encroaching into that territory of where Aaron Rodgers just has to carry them to wins. And when MDS is going to fumble in overtime, that's going to lose your games. You can't have those turnovers like that. I think the Packers are a great team offensively, an all-right team defensively, but Aaron Rodgers definitely keeps losing games. I don't think it's what you want. If you're a Packers fan, you want your defense to be better. By the way, a little bit of a shout-out here. We're going to release a podcast this week. It's probably already out by the time you're watching this. We have a Packers fan in that podcast with us, so I'm sure we'll talk about this Packers defense if we get to that. So if you want to hear more from an inside the Packers guy, make sure to check out the podcast. Just quick shout out, shameless plug. But yeah, I like this Packers team. Could be a close division. Play the Bears on Sunday night. If the Bears win that game, we'll be only one game back from Packers. We'll see if it happens. Probably not. But as a Bears fan, I am very hopeful.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, you know. But one quick thing I want to add about the Packers is that I don't think they're horrible defensively. They've got some nice players in secondary. They got Jair Alexander, who's playing very well. Kevin King as well. But sometimes, I don't know. It's just I think they played a very good team that's very good defensively. The Indianapolis Colts, they have great linebackers. The D-line was great. And, you know, they just, that was two good teams, two playoff contenders going at it. I mean, tough loss for the Packers, but I do think they'll bounce back. Yeah, MVS's fumble was tough, but he did have that huge catch that set up, the tying field goal for the Packers. So can't forget that. There would be no overtime without him. So as far as Green Bay, they'll be fine. Tough loss, but but remember they have the head-to-head with New Orleans. So if it comes down to them, they have the same record. Green Bay would get the higher seed. So just something to note there.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point once we get further on in this conference race. Now let's talk about the odd team out, or the odd division out, really. The NFC East right now, we'll just talk about who's winning as we're making this. As we're making this is a Tuesday we're making it, we're pre-recording it, because we got to get them on the TV and everything behind us. The Eagles are winning with 3-6-1, but either the Cowboys or the Washington football team will have won their game yesterday if you're watching this on the day it came out. So one of those two teams will be leading division. Regardless of who it is, this division is not very talented.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's really not too much to say on top of it. There's one team in the division that I would like to actually, I can touch on all of them, but I'm going to touch on one of them right now, and you guys will pick up on another one. That's the Dallas Cowboys. This was a team that a lot of people predicted at the beginning of this year to go to the Super Bowl. Of course, Cowboys fans, like I always say, this is their year, but they might have actually meant it this time. And I think there are a lot of people right there beside them. A lot of people in America don't like the Cowboys, even though they're considered America's team. But a lot of Americans who usually are not liking the Cowboys want to pick the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl, and it's kind of flopped so far. Everything is flopped, but the reason for that is obviously because of Dak Prescott's injury. This team was looking like a Seahawks team where Dak Prescott just had to carry them. Except I think Russell Wilson has more talent than Dak Prescott. I'm not saying I really like Dak Prescott. I think that matchup is somewhat close, but Russell Wilson definitely has the more talent. And once Russell went down, they still have a great wide receivers, but that defense is abysmal. And that offense
mean, I just want to add, whoever won that game on Thursday, because like we said, we're pre-recording this before the Thanksgiving game, so whoever won that game on Thursday between Washington and Dallas, I think becomes the favorite to take the division, because Philadelphia, look at their next 3 games: Seattle, Green Bay, New Orleans. All three of those teams that are probably going to be in the playoffs, and all 3 teams that I quite frankly don't think they're capable of beating. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen between now and then. Who's going to get COVID? Who's going to get hurt? What's going to happen? Obviously, don't hope for any of that, but you just never know in such an uncertain year. So I really think that just when we thought the Eagles were going to run away with this horrible division, they lost to the Giants, they lost to the Browns, and this thing is wide open, and it's quite hilarious. But I do think that whoever won on Thanksgiving, that is my new pick to take the division.
Yeah.
Don't count the Giants out,
What'd you just say?
So don't count the Giants out. I think we have the Bengals with
Yeah, no, them too. But I mean, I just think that whoever did that win on Thanksgiving against the division opponent, knock another team further back. That game for me is who the winner I will then predict to win the NFC East. I picked Dallas at the beginning of the year, so my pick there is still alive.
Yeah, to add on to that, Washington played Dallas. I don't know what week it was, but they played already, and Washington won, so that further adds on to your point. So both teams need this win.
Decisively.
Yeah.
I think it was like 25-3 or something. It was pretty decisive.
Yes, it was. All right. Well, just last thing about the NFC East here. Just to put it in perspective of how bad it's been for them. Here, I'm gonna read you the last 4 teams in the NFC right now. In last place is the Falcons, and then it's the entire NFC East. So
I'm speechless.
I mean, yes, if the Falcons had won one more game, then all 4 teams would be the last 4 teams in the conference. That's pretty sad. But let's talk about some less sad teams once again, and let's go to the wildcard teams right now. Remember, there are 3 this year. We have a 7 seed. So we got the Seahawks at 5, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 6, and the Arizona Cardinals at 7 right now. Which one do you guys want to start off with?
Kind of hit 2 birds with 1 stone, because 2 of those teams are NFC West teams in the Seahawks and the Cardinals.
I was gonna say, did you mean to do that with 2 birds, the Cardinals and Seahawks?
Oh, I did not. I wish I really did. That would have been good, but yeah, I did. I was really good.
That was on purpose, yeah. Yeah, totally.
Anyways, comparing those 2 birds with 1 stone, the Seahawks and the Cardinals. I guess I kind of touched on them a bit earlier when talking about the Rams, but the Seahawks have Russell Wilson playing very, very well. He's going to play the team well at offense. That defense not playing to the caliber that they want them to. We knew it was not going to be great. When they acquired Jamal Adams, they expect this defense to at least take a step up, not a whole level up, but at least some sort of step up. And now that he's back from his injury, he's doing some stuff. There's around the league, you hear him now being called Blitz Boy. And I think he has less interceptions than JPP, basically, Paul. If that's that I saw was correct, or maybe in his career, I think that's what it was. So I think his level of play needs to step up for the team to be really good. They brought him there to really elevate that defense, and that defense is like rock bottom right now. It's not very good. So that's my Seahawks analysis.
Yeah, if that defense doesn't get better, I think it's going to come back to haunt them. And they already played the Cardinals twice. They split the season series with them, so they're 7-3. Arizona, who we'll talk about later, I'm sure, is 6-4. They still got to play the Rams again, and them and the Rams are both 7-3, so that'll probably be a pivotal game. And if Russell Wilson plays well, they have a chance to win every single game that they play. But it just, if he doesn't, and if he even does good, but not like insane 5 touchdowns, 400 yards, can that defense make some stops? I think we did see a little bit of improvement defensively when they played the Cardinals on the Thursday night game. The second time those 2 teams met, they got the late defensive stop when they needed to. There was a little bit of life defensively. We saw Carlos Dunlap, the new acquisition. He's done really well since he got to Seattle. Sometimes a change of scenery is just what guys need, I guess, to move to a playoff contender maybe. He's been playing well. Defense still has some major holes in it, but I mean, if you're a team, even if you don't win the division, go get that 5 seed, because the NFC this year, the 1 seed and the 5 seed have first round buys essentially. So it's not all wild cards are created equal here. So just because you don't win the division, if you don't win the division, not all is lost. Go get that 5 seed and you'll be playing in the divisional round.
Yeah, so in other words, the Seahawks are right where they wanted to be since the beginning. Seems like, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just go play that NFC East team. So you don't have that week off. You don't get rusty over your week off, and you still can easily beat a team, hopefully. All right, so let's talk about the Cardinals now. Jordan was talking about the two birds with one stone, if that's all right with you guys. Cardinals is kind of the same thing. Their defense is better than the Seahawks is, but it's a lot of offense from the Cardinals. I've been saying that for a long time, ever since Cliff Kingsbury got there. This is what their focus was going to be, and we're seeing it. Kyler Murray's getting his receivers involved. Nuke Hopkins has been a great addition, as we all expected, making the trade seem even worse than it was for the Texans than when it came out originally. The running game, they've got a couple guys back there. It hasn't been going as much recently, but at times it's been good. And then, I mean, it's just defensively, they just mistakes every once in a while. They have a good roster. Some guys, whenever you watch the game, you go, I don't know who that was, but that was a good play. Because their defensive line specifically is not very well known players, but players that are capable of making plays.
Yeah, two guys on the defense that you do know is Buda Baker and Isaiah Simmons. Those are, I wouldn't say household names, but they probably will start to become household names. Buda Baker, one of the better safeties in the league right now. I think he has a case for being defensive player of the year, just how he's been playing. I don't really think he's right on top, but he's got to be in consideration there. And Isaiah Simmons, the rookie out of Clemson, he didn't get much playing time to start the season, but as Bill Buck said, he's playing more and more, and so I'm excited to see what he can do with a phenomenal player at Clemson. I wish I could tell you what specific position he was, but he kind of just plays all around. I think he's listed as a linebacker with the Cardinals, but he's a great player, so I'm really excited to see.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on there. I was going to talk about Isaiah Simmons too, but you really explained it well. He was a guy that we were wondering, where is he at the beginning of the year? Why isn't he playing? You drafted him. Many thought he was a steal. I had him going the pick prior to Carolina in my mock, so I thought that was a great pick for them. But he didn't really get much playing time, so I was hoping that they work him into the scheme a little more, get him more playing time. But he really burst onto the scene with a big interception in that Sunday night game against the Seahawks that proved to be a game changer in that game, no doubt. So I think it's good to see Isaiah Simmons playing all over the field. We saw him do it at Clemson. He's getting more playing time. He's getting better. So I'm glad that Cliff Kingsbury and the Cardinals are working into the defensive scheme more, because he really is a fun player to watch.
And they lost arguably their best player on defense, Chandler Jones, to a season-ending injury. So you got to give the defense credit.
Absolutely.
All right, last team that's in the playoffs right now currently is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They struggled last night, as we're making this on Monday Night Football. They struggled to get going. Defensively, their front seven is great. The linebackers are good. The cornerbacks just gave up some plays, and that's what it was at times. That Rams offense, we already talked about them. But they're slow or quickly moving downfield, but they'll take long drives and slant routes and quick routes to get a team off balance. They did that to the defense. Still one of the better defenses in the league, and then the offense has so much talent. There's just days where they can't get anything going, and last night on Monday Night Football was one of them.
Well, you said there's days where they can't get anything done, but I'm going to say there's nights where they can't get anything done.
Also true,
man. I would have killed this Buccaneers team right now. Whenever they are under the light, they have not played very good football. When they played on Thursday night against the Bears, it was not good. When they played on Monday night, when we just saw them, not that good. They played another primetime game, not that good. And then they played the game of the week, I think, against the Saints, and they did not play that good either. So, I don't know if it's just something about all these eyes on them. They can't play good. Tom Brady used to be clutch. And this is one of those teams that I was talking about, the Cowboys earlier, where a lot of people predicted them to win the Super Bowl. A lot of people predicted the Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl. I think they're 7-4 now, am I correct?
Yep.
Yes.
I believe they have taken approval. They're 7-4. I feel like they're worse than 7-4 teams right now, the way that they're playing. I think they're a good team. I always say with the Buccaneers, I'm going to say it again, I want to see consistency with this team. I think this defense is really good. They have one of the better, I think, three-back rushing defense in the league, and those corners are phenomenal too. Kyle Lutz, this guy, Antoine Winfield Jr. And this offense has I'm going to say the best wide receiver core in the league. It's definitely close, but they have some of the biggest names in there. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Antonio Brown. Throwing some other guys like Tyler Johnson and
Scotty Miller.
Yeah, Scotty Miller.
Yeah. Scotty Miller's high.
I think it's really good.
Let's get this straight.
On paper, this team is stacked on both sides of the ball, and there's some games that are like, what the heck is happening right now with this team? Honestly, I don't like them too much, so I'm okay with them losing. If you're a Buccaneers fan, I'm sorry, I don't really hate your team, but I'm just not completely on the hype train just yet. I like Tom Brady, I like this Bucs team, but they just flop in some games, especially those primetime games.
They really do, and I mean, on paper, I mean, there's well-known names really anywhere you look on the field, both sides of the ball. On paper, they have a lot of talent, and I guess sometimes it just doesn't quite materialize. But I want to talk about Tom Brady. You touched on their defense a lot. They do have a lot of playmakers there. But Tom Brady, when he had to throw the ball deep on Monday night, it didn't look very well. His 2 interceptions, the throw just wasn't there, and it ended up costing him. So I think what the Rams did, they took away Tom Brady's first read. They didn't let him, do the slants and the short 10-yard ends. They made him stretch the field, and I mean, I don't know, can he still throw a deep ball? He's got these great receivers, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, the other guys that you mentioned, but he wasn't really able to stretch the field with them like they would have expected him to. So is that just time catching up to him? Is there just miscommunication? Because the vertical passing attack for Tampa is just not there.
It's funny, we were doing the same thing with Drew Brees early on in the season. What's going on with the deep ball? And yeah, it's been a problem right now, but I think he'll get it sorted out. He's been very accurate on the deep ball in the past. He'll figure it out eventually. But I saw a stat today, and I think it was like his last 19 throws that are, I don't know if it was 20 plus or 30 plus, he's 0-19 on. So, I mean, that's got to get fixed at some point, but I think he'll be fine on the deep ball. So, lastly, let's just mention these wildcard teams. We can briefly gloss over them because it's been a longer video than I expected, but a good video nonetheless. So we got 3 NFC North teams, actually. At 8 is the Chicago Bears, who have a big game against the Packers on Sunday night to get within 1 game in the division. Minnesota Vikings, who have the win over the Bears, they're at 4-6. Detroit Lions are at 4-6 as we make this, but the record will be different depending on what it is. Then the Niners, the Panthers, and we got to throw in the NFC East teams because they're technically still in the hunt because their division is bad. The 3-7 Giants football team and Cowboys. So those are all the teams that we have in the NFC right now that are... I mean, there's really only one team, I guess, that's completely out of contention, and that's the Falcons to me because they're in a good division that have 2 top-tier people or teams. I said that's the second time I did that. But it's going to be interesting. Down to the wire in the NFC. We're excited. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, be notified every time we post a new video. Like I said before, go down in the comments. Tell us what you think about this division or conference. Who do you think is going to win each division? And what do you think the playoff outlook is going to be when we reach time for the playoffs? Make sure to go check out our podcast. Jordan mentioned that. And with all that, we will see you guys later.
See ya.